Hi friends, it's Carly and I'm back again with another review. I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. Thank you all so much for watching my videos that I posted while I was out of town. And we are back working on our Venom Pool Bath series. With your guys' votes coming in on which figures to see next, I was able to go in the exact order that you requested. So today we are going to be looking at our Carnage. This has been a really fun series so far, and I've really loved seeing your responses to everything that we've talked about on these figures so far. And just the little changes that I've made to the format. If you guys want to know when my videos are coming up, make sure to be checking my social media on Facebook at Annoying Car and on Instagram at Your Annoying Friend Car with underscores under all the words. I posted that I was going to be doing a video of this figure today, and I'm also going to be doing a live stream tonight. So if you want to know what's coming up, that's where to find it. And as long as you guys keep telling me in the comments what to do next, I will. We've done all of them in order, and it's been a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and take a look at Carnage and get a little bit of history about Cletus Cassidy. So Cletus Cassidy was a serial killer, and he actually has a really sad life story that starts off his sort of murderous history, and that is when his father kills his mother because his mother attempted to kill Cletus. And the crazy thing about that story, that I found at least, the crazy part was that then when they go to court, Cletus agrees to testify in the case and actually lies and testifies that his father killed his mother for no reason, just so that he gets the punishment that Cletus feels that he deserves, even though his own mother was trying to kill him. So it's obviously a really complicated thing with Cletus. He has a proclivity toward violence. He confesses later in life that he killed his own grandmother. And he's just, your run-of-the-mill psychopath. So when he is involved in a prison break, that is when the symbiote Carnage gets hold of him, and they have a relationship that is long and storied with a lot of back and forth. So Carnage leaves him sometimes and comes back. He, will find another host and come back, but ultimately Cletus and Carnage end up being together for the most part. And up to the most recent event that we saw was the Absolute Carnage event, which we'll talk about in just a second because we have accessories to that effect. But one fun fact that I found is that unlike Venom, Carnage actually refers to himself in the first person when he is hosted by Cletus here. So he calls himself I, and he speaks in the first person like any of us would, and that is because he's actually embedded into Cletus's bloodstream. So he actually is a part of Cletus, and it's just the entity that they are together whenever Cletus is the host. So that's a fun fact that I thought was really interesting. Let's take a look at the accessories that come with him. So here we have a much more sort of comic book, standard version of, obviously these are all going to be comic book versions, but a more standard version of Carnage here. And then with the accessories that come with this particular figure, we have a secondary head, which is from the Absolute Carnage event. And in that event, a cult of worshippers of the god of symbiotes, Null, reanimate Carnage. And the story is a little bit complicated. So essentially every single person who has ever hosted a symbiote, there is a little element of that symbiote left inside of him. It's called the Codex. So when Carnage is brought back to life in Absolute Carnage, he is seeking out, he uses these tendrils here, which are also an accessory that snaps on the back. See that? So he is seeking out everyone who has ever been a host of a symbiote, and he is trying to collect their codices in order to become the ultimate symbiote to rival Null. So it was a really fun event. I started it. I told you guys I didn't get to finish it because of comic book store drama, but meaning I just didn't have one when I moved. So I'm really interested in this event, but more so after reading some history on Cletus, I want to get to know more about him. So I think I'm going to go back in time a little bit. He was introduced in the 90s, and there is some content actually even in Absolute Carnage where we see him with Phage and other other symbiotes that we've talked about already. So that is our history lesson on him. And here is what he looks like as absolute Carnage. This is not the form that I'm going to talk about him in. I'm going to switch the head back over. It's pretty specific to that event, and because I didn't really have a connection to it as much as I did to Cletus' story, I'm going to go ahead and swap those out. But it's a nice accessories pack. To have 2 accessories here where we haven't had very many is really satisfying. One thing I was disappointed about is that the absolute Carnage head here really looked to me like we were going to have a working jaw. And I was so stoked about that, but we don't, which there's no reason for me to think that we would, but it just looked like it was going to be a working jaw. So I got really excited and hopeful and was kind of bummed out when it didn't work. But I really like those 2 accessories. They look nice. The paintwork here where his tendrils merge into his back look excellent. They fit right into the pattern all over his body, and the paintwork on his head is excellent. I think I got a really good one. There's really no issues that I can see overall with the paint, so I'm really happy with the way that he looks. And one of the things that I really love about this figure, and I don't know how well the camera is going to be able to pick this up, but these tendrils, these black tendrils over his body are overlays. So they're sort of sculpted down over the top of the body itself. But the body that they use underneath is really sinewy and muscular. And you can sort of see that here, particularly in his pecs, in his shoulders. You can see the sinew of his muscles with the tendrils over it. It's just a really cool effect. It really makes him look powerful, even though he's sort of a mid-tier body size figure. And again, he has those really long legs, like Venom did. It's just a really good looking figure. I love the tendrils sculpted out of the backs of his arms and the sides of his legs. I like that they're really irregular and just how seamlessly they sort of fit in all together. So I have to say, I really loved Phage, and I felt like he was one of the best that I'd seen so far. But as I got my hands on this Carnage, I was really blown away by the amount of craftsmanship that went into just every element of this figure. If we look at this more classic head, it's just really great looking. And we'll go over the points of articulation like we always do, but I just want to really sort of applaud the designers of this particular figure for getting it so detailed and so right on with all of the layering and elements and excellent paintwork and sculpting that went into this figure. I really, really like the way that he looks. So when we're looking at articulation on any of these type of symbiote figures, I'm obviously looking for just sort of that extra level of all over flexibility. And I think Carnage is going to be our best one for that because he has these excellent butterfly joints. So we're getting a great range of motion in the shoulders. We saw the head works really well. He's got a great lift in his arms, and he's got everything. So he's got all of the points of articulation that whenever they take one out, I wonder, why would they take that out? If you can do it, just do it on all of them. And I still don't have a great answer for that. But this Carnage has everything. So everything that we would want to use, everything that's going to get us really excellent poses, really beautiful, flexible hands. I love the sculpt of these hands. I would have liked a separate set of hands, but again, with a bath as big as Venompool, we can't expect to get a ton of accessory packs, so having the head and the tendrils was kind of enough, but it would have been cool to have a set of fist hands as well. But we have really great, movement in all of the joints in the arms. He has a really strong ab crunch and a lean back that is commendable that we don't always get. He's got a nice turning waist that is excellent. We have, if you've seen the pictures on my social media, I tested him out by doing a split, so he's got great lift and turn in his hips. If you guys ever check out my pictures on Instagram or Facebook, any of my social media, I always do silly things with them. Please, sometimes people get a little bit offended that I'm not being true to the character when I take my photographs. I'm really just playing with the toy and being silly, so don't take it too seriously. It's always kind of fun and funny, but yeah, so you can go and see the splits on my social media that our Carnage can do. He's got a turning thigh that's great. The knees are great. He also has the calf turn, which I feel like we've been missing that I could be wrong about that, but I feel like we were missing it on one of these. And then great flexible feet that are appropriate to his body size. So I'm really stoked about this figure. When I looked at Phage, who's right here, I thought that he was going to be the one that ended up being my favorite, like a surprise favorite. I was so happy with everything about him. But when I hold him up side by side with this Carnage, it feels like he's almost half wrought. Like, all of the things that I liked with the detailing, with the black and the gold and the contrast, the really great paintwork was awesome on Phage, but it was kind of waist up. And we saw that with our Miles too, a little bit waist up. With Ghost Spider, that wasn't really a part of the costume design. It didn't really come into play as much, and she had that crazy tongue. But when we're looking at these male figures, it seems like this is the first one that has really worked all the way over the way that it should be. And I'm super, super stoked that he's a part of this collection. And I'm super stoked that I saved him for last, because after looking at the others and getting progressively more and more happy, although I wasn't really disappointed in any of them, having this guy sort of finish out the Venomized versions or the symbiote versions of each character, I couldn't be happier with any of them than I am with this Carnage. So out of all of the figures that we've looked at so far, I have to say that this ends up being my favorite. And as long as that keeps happening in the wave, I'm going to be really stoked, because it's been a good one so far, and this is a very satisfying figure. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about Carnage, how you feel in the order that we've gone. Do you feel that they've gotten progressively better? Obviously, I feel like Ghost Spider, as much as I'm attached to her and I love her, is one of my favorites just to have her in my collection. I feel like Ghost Spider and Miles are probably the weakest of the set. Phage was really exciting for me. Obviously, movie Venom was stunning. Phage was really exciting for me, but now that I have this Carnage, I think that this is probably the centerpiece of the entire series. I want to hear what you guys think in the comments. Please let me know. We're going to take a slightly different route with the rest of these figures. I'm not able still to find the Venomized Captain America. Let me know if you guys have a line on that. I am looking. But I do want to talk about Toxin. So we're going to look at Toxin next. I know that he isn't technically a part of the wave. Actually, I think we might go ahead and do the BAF. We'll do Venom Pool, then we'll do Toxin, and then I'm going to come back and do Morbius. I don't have anything against Morbius, but I'm sort of in the vibe of the symbiote characters, and I want to do the rest of them in order just to keep some synchronicity in all of the videos that I'm doing. So next up, we will do the BAF. We'll go ahead and do Venom Pool. Then we're going to take a look at Toxin. Then we're going to come back and do Morbius. If you guys have any problems with that, questions, issues, want me to change it up, let me know in the comments. And as you know, I'll probably do what you guys ask me to do. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this Carnage. I'm so happy with him. And yeah, for me, I'm just going to go ahead and commit and say that he is the best of the line so far. I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts. Make sure that you are keeping an eye on my channel tonight. I will be doing a live stream to talk about 2 incredible figures that I got. One thing that I picked up in North Carolina on my trip that I couldn't possibly live without, and a couple of just random hauls and fun things catching up with you guys after the holidays. So I look forward to seeing you. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. As long as you keep interacting with them, enjoying them, leaving comments, likes, dislikes, suggestions, I will keep making them. And I will be back again the day after tomorrow with another one. See you tonight for the live stream. Thanks so much. Bye, friends.